And the worst is yet to come. Because when the stock market crashes, and it will, when that dome comes down, and every Muslim on the earth gets incensed, it will be a free-for-all everywhere. And it will cause economic collapse, especially in this country. And what happens when the stock market crashes, and utilities fold, and there's no lights, and there's no gasoline, and there's no work, and there's no school, and there's no food? What are you going to do? And what will happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. This guy is going to call the UN and say, we need help because we don't have any troops left in this country to stop the civil disobedience that's occurring. That's because our troops are every place else but here. There are no troops. All the Illinois civil troops are gone. You know that. I put that on my website a few months ago. They're all gone. There's an emergency in Illinois. No civil troops. Only they'd have to call in soldiers and foreign aid. And that's what they will happen. They will call in the UN to stop the violence and the destruction in this country, most of which will be under Chinese troops. There are already 1.9 million Chinese troops stationed around the borders of this country. They are in Panama, Bahamas, and Canada, and Mexico. In Mexico, in the mountains just over the border, the Mexicans talk about Los Chinos, who are just sitting there waiting. I have people in Honduras writing to me and telling me that the Chinese Navy is right there in Honduras inviting people to tour their vessels. This is not shown on American television. Panama Canal is owned by the Chinese now. China owns the deepest water port in the world, which is in the Bahamas, 90 miles from Florida. And all the parts of their Navy are there. I can tell you, I just came back from China. And the troops there are quite in alignment, ready to pounce at a moment's notice. You are being shown on television commercials with Asian characters. You are being shown people of importance with of Chinese descent. Who landed in Chicago a couple of weeks ago? The 7-foot-tall Chinese basketball player, okay, becomes an American hero. Every category of American life will be dominated by Chinese characters to get in line to accept Chinese troops. And then they will say that the United States is too large of an area to be controlled centrally, and they will split it along the Mississippi River. The Eastern District capital will be Atlanta, and the Western District capital will be Denver. Washington, D.C. will become an Illuminati ritual center, and New York City will become the global capital. That's why the license plates have on it now Empire State. It always was the Empire State. Now it's on the license plates.
If you were to take all the mortgages that you now have on your property, if you were to take every debt to a credit card, to a bank that you have, department store, if you were to take everything that the government did, all the defense contractors, all the money they borrowed, even the money that the banks borrowed from the Federal Reserve to keep the United States operating, right now, today, the United States of America as a country, including all the 50 individual states, is $24 trillion in debt. $24 trillion. If you were to force sale the entire United States at a bankruptcy sale, private and public land and property, you're talking about $7 trillion at a forced bankruptcy sale. This is why they want to keep people in the United States, because we, as a natural resource, have been pledged to a group of men as bankers as a natural resource. You know, we're loaning $15, $16, $18 billion to Russia. We don't have it. We're in debt ourselves. Expect the UN troops in major cities to go door to door trying to collect weapons. Expect it. Most of our active military troops are being sent out of the United States. Our military is not going to shoot our people. That's why they're being sent out of the United States. Because they already know that they're not going to start shooting our own people. But the UN troops, they don't know us. They could give a damn.